we'll do our Sparkle of the Season number 2 first, and then we'll do number 1 next week. How's that? All right, so this is Very Vanilla, thick Very Vanilla, and it should be pretty easy. So we're going to take it and fold it in half. Oh goodness. I'm not getting off to a very good start, am I? And then we do have some ribbon, and we have some soft suede. So we have actually 4 pieces. So let's see, the 2 larger pieces. One's a little bit bigger. The one that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, that's going to go in the front like that. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This one here is 4 by 5. It's going on the inside. But before we put that on, we want to put our paper on. So I'm going to do that with some Stampin' Seal. So proud, I remembered to call it Stampin' Seal. And there's just a 1/16 of an inch around here. And then before we put it on, we do want to put our ribbon on. And the ribbon is 1 inch from the bottom. So I like to measure it. I have a pencil somewhere here. So this is going to be my bottom. Going to measure 1 inch here and 1 inch here, and then that is going to be the bottom of my ribbon. And I'm going to put some, oops, picked up something there. I'm going to put some of this on. A couple of strips of that above the ribbon, so that I can take, now this is diamond weave ribbon, and there's 2 pieces that are 6 inches each. So I'm going to take, you can kind of see how the curve goes. I'm going to find that mark, even on both ends. Just above that mark is where the bottom of my ribbon is. And this tends to curl, so I'm going to kind of pull it tight to make sure that curve is not in it. Is that about where I want it? Yep, it is. Now I can put it on the front of my card. And here we go. I'm also going to put some on top of that ribbon too, so that it, oh, that glare is really going on the, let me move this. That glare is too much. I'll move those stamps. Okay, this is going to go, again, 1/16 of an inch. And we'll do our little bow thingy, which really isn't a bow thingy, it's more of a knot thingy, but we'll do that later. And then let's go ahead with our 4 by 5 1/4. Put that on the inside. Just trying to get rid of things on the desk here, my craft desk, so that nothing gets ink on it. Looks like this is going to go on our Very Vanilla 3 1/4 by okay, so this is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, sorry, 4 by 5 1/4, and then this is 3 3/4 by 5. It's going to go on the inside, but we have to stamp Thankful for You first. And I can see I'm not in camera. I rearranged things so that I could stop the bouncing when I would do my stamping, but now I've got to get used to being closer to me. You have 2 pieces of soft suede that are 4 1/4 by 4. We're going to die cut 2 wreaths. So I'm going to bring in my wreaths. And we're going to use the wreath that has leaves on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put those together over here, up there where you probably can't see them. You have a piece of pumpkin pie 2 by 2, we're going to do our little sweet pumpkin. We're going to do 2 of those from that. Actually, we're going to do 3 because we got to do one on the inside. Okay, and then you have these leaves here. Is that the only ones? And you have these leaves. Oh, actually, these are the holly leaves. You don't want to use the holly leaves. You want to use the leaves that are more like a leaf from, I guess, an oak tree or whatever. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what. The maple, oak, something like that. Not a maple, but maybe an oak. Okay, and then you should have a circle inside here. Very vanilla circles. There's also some jewels in there. We'll get to that later. Trying to put that out of the way so it doesn't get ink on it. These are from these are very vanilla, and they're the 4th largest circle die. So we have the circle die set, so you would count down 1, 2, 3, 4 from the largest. These are the 4th largest circle dies from the circle dies that we sell. We'll be stamping on one of those. You have, I always give you 2 so that if you mess up, you have extra. All right, so let's stamp, and then let's die cut, and then we'll put our card together. And here's our stamp set, and we need grateful, as this is a Thanksgiving card. And we need thankful for you. That's why I said this is a very versatile set. And that's all the stamping that we're going to do, and we're going to use Early Espresso ink. Is that right? Yep, that's right, Early Espresso. So let me grab it here. And you're going to need a 4 by 6 window sheet. And going to need your Stamparatus. I'm going to try to stay in camera as much as possible, but I am getting used to this new arrangement. So okay, so I'm going to need the Early Espresso, so I'm just going to put this random garden green underneath there so it's level. I'm going to get a little bit more in camera. We'll start out with Grateful, a 4 by 6 window sheet. I guess my Grateful is going to be about right here in the left corner. And of course, when I pick it up, everything moves, but I push it back in the corner. Stamp an image with the Early Espresso, so I'll know where that's going to stamp. And then I have a piece of scratch paper that I've just put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on right there, so I can attach my circle die, or my round circle that I cut with the circle die. And I want my Grateful in the middle. Okay, level and in the middle. I'm going to put that down. And just to make sure, because these are photopolymer stamps, just going to tape that down just a little bit, because photopolymer stamps are really, really, really sticky. And sometimes they will pull up. So if you have a little problem with that, just use a little bit of, and that's removable Scotch tape, so that it's not going to damage my cardstock. All right, there's my Grateful, and it will lighten up. It will lighten up as it dries, so don't think it's too dark, because it's not. And then I'm going to wipe off my plastic and my grateful stamp. Okay. Next we're going to do thankful for you. Get my tape. And I won't need my scratch paper, but I will need my plastic. Thankful for you in the corner over here. Pick it up, put it back in place. Ink it up with early espresso. And then we're going to slide this underneath, line it up in the corner, and that looks good. Good enough, I hope. I hope. Okay, remove the plastic. I'm hoping I don't need to put plastic tape there, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because it doesn't hurt to be prepared. So, thankful for you. And just lightly again, because I like it to be rich. Okay. Guess what, guys? That's our stamping. Easy, huh? But we're gonna make up for it with our die cutting. So we've got a lot of die cutting to do tonight. So we're done with that. So put away our stamps, our ink pads, and I guess next we're going to bring in this. Let me see if I can get all of my stuff I'm going to be die cutting. So let's go ahead and do our one of our wreaths. Get my 3-plate. I'm just going to run that through. Okay, that's one. Now we will be using some of this other brown or soft suede too, so let's not chuck it because we're going to be using some of it. So you'll want to gently remove that. You may need to use this to get everything out. Come on. We're going to do 2 of these. All right, so there's one. See that some of that didn't come out. So we got one. And remember, we're going to save this because we're going to cut leaves from this. We're going to be frugal with our stuff. And then let's grab this again. And we're going to do another one of these. So hopefully moving those legs to my tripod is going to make things a little better for not so much shaky stuff going on. Okay, come on, you can come out of there. And that's everything. Gently pull it out because it's very delicate. So we got 2 of those. And I'm looking at, I'm not sure, 5 times leaves. It says I have to die cut the leaves 5 times. So What did I do with my leaf die once I found it? Okay, so here's my leaf die. Remember, we're using the ones that is kind of like an oak leaf, not the one that looks like holly. That we're saving that one for our Christmas card. So with these leftovers of your soft suede, you're just going to cut this little die 5 times. So there's one. Put our leaves over here. 2. That leaf didn't want to come out. 3. So I went to the the eye doctor today. I'll be getting some new glasses, which is great because it's been like 2 years since actually more like 3. So, but my eyes are healthy, so I'm happy about that. So this is number 4. And they didn't have to they had a new system. They didn't have to dilate my eyes with that goopy stuff that makes your eyes, like for 3 hours later, you're sensitive to light. They didn't have to use that. It was really nice. So, progress. Technology is really making our life so much easier. Okay, I think this is number 5. And then after this, we're going to do 3 pumpkins. Of course, these want to stick inside there. So that's all we really need for now. So I'm just going to chuck this. You can save it if you want. So here is I'm going to get 3 pumpkins out of this, and you'll just have to be frugal with how you put them. That's a 2x2 pumpkin pie for our pumpkins. So that's 1. 2 more. And then we can start putting our card together. So it's going to be kind of easy. Sorry we got off to a rough start. Losing my paper. That's never happened before. Embarrassing is all. But we managed. At first I was going to just say let's just cancel. But then I'm like, well, why do we need to cancel? We can do another card. We can just do the next card and kind of do them out of order, and we'll just call this card number 1. But yeah, it's still going to be card number 2, but we know it's really card number 1. All right, I'm going to put this away, bring in my card here, what we have so far. So we know this is going to go on the inside. Make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. Get my Stampin' Seal back. This is a pretty easy card. So if you wanted to make several, this would be a good one. This is a piece of that same DSP. I started out with the 4x6. That way you could get 6 out of one 12x12 sheet. So I try to be frugal that way. So it's this one. This DSP is 4 by 5 1/4, and then this is 3/4 by 3/4 by 3 1/2. It goes on the inside like that. 3/4 by 3 1/2, and I'm just gonna. Normally I might use glue, but tonight I'm going to. And it looks like I might have, in the original, made it a little not quite edge to edge, because I kind of like that look, but I didn't remember to trim that. So I don't, maybe I trimmed the one that you have in your kit, but so there's a big leaf and a little leaf. The big leaf is going to kind of go here at the bottom, the little leaf at the top, and then our pumpkin is going to go like right there. And I'm going to get some of this Sort Quick stuff that I use, fingertip moisturizer, because when I'm working with little pieces like that, my hands get dry and I just can't pick anything up. So I'm going to use a lot of glue dots. So I'm going to have to go grab some. I need to get some more glue dots. I'm getting low. So I'm just going to find the fattest part of that and put it down here. And these are just perfect. I'm actually going to use this. These are just the right size to hide a glue dot behind them. And we all know these glue dots will hold. Just make sure that's level. All right, our inside is done. All right, so we're ready to put together the front of our card. So we're going to get our grateful. I'm going to twist that off. Now that's going to go kind of in the center there. We want to make sure that we have room for our kind of there. Just make sure that you can fit your wreath around it. And that looks good. So I probably should kind of mark that just so I know. I'll bring that down a little bit so I can mark it. And then when I put it on, I'll cover that mark with the circle. And I'm going to put that on with some glue because I want to be able to move it around because, you know, glue is forgiving. So I find my mark. I'm going to cover that mark up because I don't want it to show. And then I want it level and I want it even from side to side. And level. And let me make sure that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now we're ready to put our wreaths on. Now the first wreath doesn't really matter in what direction you put it in. So we're going to put tiny little dots of glue on the back, kind of near the base of the leaf. We'll start with the base of the leaves because we don't want them to be flat, but we do want them to be stuck down. And tiny dots, just basically touching. And then there'll be places where there's a larger amount of surface of cardstock that you can put some dots on. You'll be able to tell. And then you do want to kind of put some tiny dots on these little like finger things that are sticking in the center, because you don't want them to stick up and get caught when you're trying to put the envelope, put your card in the envelope. So we're going to glue those down, and I'll give you a better look before I put this on so you can kind of see how I did my glue. I'll hold it up for you and you can see all the little glue dots of glue that I put there. And I didn't use a lot, I just basically touched it. And like I said, this doesn't really matter what direction, just over the circle, and it might stick to your fingers like mine is doing. And then I'm going to take this ribbon holder and I'm just going to push that down and kind of hold it down in place until it's stuck. And like I said, these little fingers here, you want to make sure they stay down because you don't want them sticking up and getting caught in the envelope when you're putting the card away. Okay, now they're going to do another one on top of that one, but this one we do want to kind of make sure that the leaves are in different places so that we get a fuller look. Now you will have your little pumpkins over here, so if you don't have a lot of leaves in that area, that's okay, because that's where your pumpkins are going to go. So I think that's going to look nice. Let me see, I might could get it to look a little nicer. Just want to make sure there aren't any blank spots. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I know that this is the top, so I'm going to keep that in place and flip it over so that I'll remember that's the top when I go to place it back in there. I won't have to reposition it again trying to figure out the best position for it. Doing the same thing again with the leaves, just dots everywhere behind the leaves, the bottom, and then places where there's a large surface where they join together. And then I definitely want to get those little like finger-like things, and just barely putting some glue on there just to hold them down. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay, and again, I'll just show you briefly, and I think I forgot which is my top now. I think that was my top there. I think I recognize that leaf. All right, so that's gonna go around, and that kind of gives it like that, what do they call those wreaths that are, they're like a vine wreath, kind of gives it like the vine wreath look. So I'm gonna hold that down there just a little. Okay, now you can, if you want to, you can kind of lift some of these leaves up on the edge so that it doesn't look so flat. I'm kind of holding it at the base and then just flicking it a little, but not so much that it's going to stand up and get in the way of the envelope again. Just so it has a little bit of more of a dimension to it than just a flat look. And remember, this area is going to have pumpkins, so we don't have to worry about that. So I guess we could go ahead and put our pumpkins on there. And I'm just going to use glue dots. So I'll grab my glue dots, and there's a glue dot. This one is just kind of not real even, but kind of even. Kind of level, I mean. And then this other one is going to just kind of be right next to it, but more to an angle, like this. So pretty. And then these little guys here, we're going to take, we'll alternate big leaf, little leaf, big leaf, little leaf. So I'm going to start out with a big leaf, put a glue dot on it, and your leaves are going counterclockwise. So make sure that all of them go counterclockwise. I'm basically just filling in where possibly there's a need to have a leaf, like it looks like a lot of vine and no leaf. You'll be able to tell. You might need all of them, you may not. Let's see, this one, put put that there. Maybe right there. I don't want to lose any. Okay, do a big one. So we're alternating big, little, big, little. A big one there. Come on. A little one there. This is just a fun set to play with. Big one there. And then we'll put the little one right here. And that will really even it all out. And then those that you just put, if you want to turn them up a little on the ends, you can do that too, to give it a little more dimension. All right, there's our wreath, and now I think there's only a couple more things that we need to do. You have some in your envelope, you have some whatchamacallits embellishments. There's 3 of the small wonderful gems, the clear ones. We're going to put 3 of them on here. We're going to put one down here by the pumpkins, just kind of in a little bit of a triangle. One maybe here, and maybe one up here in between this. There. Just kind of in a little triangle. Ta-da! Now all we need to do is to do not really a bow, but a knot, and we're going to twist it around so that we have a pretty little knot looking thing in the front. So this is going to go under. Find your curve, and your curve is going to go up like this. Now I have to remember alright, so I have it figured out. So might be helpful to turn it sideways. So the bottom one is going to go over this one and then through, and you're going to pull it. But you're not going to pull it tight, because what you want to do is you want to take this, put it under, try to keep it flat too. And what you want to do is turn that knot around. See what we just did? We turned that knot around so that it is pretty, because the other side, it doesn't have that nice little neat look to it. That's why we put it under and flipped it. All right, so now we're going to trim that with our scissors. Get my scissors out. I kind of want that to go behind a little more. So maybe what I need to do is this, and then push that under. All right, that looks better. And straight across, and then this one about the same distance, straight across. All right, so we have our, that was a little bit longer and it's gonna bug me, so there. That's better. All right, so we have our card. This is project number 2 in the Sparkle of the Season class kit. So check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current class kit I'm offering with a qualifying purchase from stampinup.com. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.